Hello and welcome back to the Football Rundown. Of course, we're back here today with another matchday vlog. Stockport County take on Cambridge United, of course, in the FA Cup second round as they look to progress to the third round of the FA Cup in back-to-back seasons for the first time since 2001 to 2. County in that period, I think, actually moved past round 2 in 7 consecutive seasons in a run between the mid-90s and the early 2000s. Of course, they face a Cambridge side which actually got the better of County last time out in February when the U's picked up a 2-0 win over Stockport, of course, at the Abbey Stadium. That would be their first win over the Hatters since September 1988. That would also be just one of their 5 wins in League One in 2025 as Cambridge found themselves relegated to the 4th tier of English football. And of course, with managerial and structural changes behind the scenes at the end of last season for Cambridge, they've attempted to sort of pick up the pieces and go again this season, of course, in League Two. So Cambridge currently find themselves in sort of decent form, unbeaten in each of the last 4 league matches since, of course, losing to Notts County in late October. The U's were knocked out of the EFL Trophy midweek as they lost 4-2 on penalties to another relegated side from last season in Bristol Rovers. Their last league outing was a 2-1 win over Crewe Alexandra, of course, a side which County faced in our midweek EFL Trophy fixture, of course, on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday night? Yeah, Wednesday night. So County have had a tough run of form of late, with injuries appearing to be sort of the leading factor in a decline in form. Of course, after County lost 4-2 away to Plymouth in the beginning of September, the Hatters sort of enjoyed an unbeaten run, collecting 17 points from 7 League One matches. On the eve of our home fixture with Luton Town, County were hit with a ton of injuries. However, it wasn't just the number of injuries, it was the players who were out injured that was the real problem for Stockport County. Of course, key injuries to the likes of Ollie Norwood, Ben Osborne and Tyler Onyango, just to mention a few, were all ruled out injured on the eve of that game against Luton a couple of weeks ago. Of course, County would fall to defeat as Luton picked up 3 points during a 3-0 win over Stockport County. The Hatters would then travel to face Peterborough United, a side that had a poor start to the season and of course made a managerial change in the dugout. Despite a poor start, though, the manager and that managerial change did get off to a positive beginning with a win in Luke Williams' first game in charge. I think it was a 5-0 win over AFC Wimbledon, and that that run of form would continue with a 3-0 win over County, meaning the Hatters actually lost back-to-back league games 3-0, and it was also the first time that Stockport County had lost back-to-back league games since February 2024. Now, of course, since then we've seen that we've managed to pick up a point against Barnsley last Saturday in the league, but the performances haven't really sort of provided much optimism of late, and it almost feels like we're sort of just waiting for players to sort of come back from injury before we really feel like we can get back to where we were in terms of performances and results prior to that defeat against Luton. Look, obviously we've seen the likes of Ben Osborne come back. He got minutes. He come on again half time against Barnsley. We looked miles better when as soon as he came back on the pitch. We've also got the long-awaited debut for left back Teo Edun. Of course, he made his debut midweek against Crewe Alexandra away. And I'm sure he'll be in contention to start, or certainly have some form of involvement in the game today for Stockport County. Now, Benno Anderson scored his first of the season midweek, and it feels like it's a goal that he's been crying out for all season. Things just haven't really seemed to have gone his way, and he hasn't really seemed to have kicked on and shown that form that he sort of showed at the back end of last season. Those sort of 2 goals off the bench against Blackpool, a late goal against Northampton, a few days later, really showing how potent he can be in front of goal. It's not really gone for him so far this season. And every time he looks like he's starting to get somewhere, he either gets called up for Iceland's under 21s or he picks up an injury. And in this case, he's picked up an injury and it looks like he could be out for the next few weeks. Artu Hoskonen, of course, signed in the summer and is yet to debut, of course, due to injury. We've been led to believe that this is a fixture which we could well see him debut in. So potentially could be a debut for Hoskonen, and of course he is still remains the last player to score a goal against England. What I would say though, he's been injured for a very long time. How much can we expect from a player that's been out for so long, especially on his debut? How much and how integrated is he going to be into how County want to play in terms of style of play? And of course, it is sort of thrown him in at the deep end, of course, against a team which doing reasonably well in League Two and could cause us a few issues. I think the key thing as well for us to think about is that we've got a big game against Doncaster on Tuesday night, and that will of course have to be a priority. The league is always a priority, it seems, and Challoner has though also assured that we'll see a team today that is a team that's capable of winning. So I think that's what we want to see. We want to see a team that's capable of winning. I think we can put a team out today that's capable of winning. We've got players like Malik Mothersill who are not starting games at the moment and certainly have the quality, if they're given the opportunity to start the game, to show what they can do in a game like today. And we should really be able to get a win in this kind of game, and also go and put in a performance to get a result on Tuesday night as well. So the thing for me, as much as the league has to be a priority, and I get that, I do think that, sort of days like Selhurst Park away at Crystal Palace last season in the third round, they're also important as well for fans. And I think that, yes, by all means, do prioritise the league, but we should also be looking to get a result, especially on home soil, and especially against a team a division below, and of course against a side that did lose here when we last played them at Edgeley Park last season. Of course, that 2-0 win on opening day in League One. So I am confident. I'm hopeful of a performance. I'm hopeful of a result, more importantly. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the team sheet will be when it drops as well. So without further ado, let's get into today's match day.
Down the fucking middle. All you have to do is touch the sudden ball with it. Oh yeah, fucking idiot! Come for a fucking footballer!
So the ref stopped the game for that. Seen this happen a lot in games recently.
Fucking joke.
You're not going to get that. Moxon. He's away as well.
What the hell did he? The fucking walk past.
Not dealt with it.
He should have run in with more of it, shouldn't he?
Okay, we've got numbers up there now as well.
Now another corner.
Another one from Moxon.
Oh, fuck!
Given away by a low woo. Oh, that was a chance. And obviously the keeper's severely injured, isn't he? So
Oh, God! That was near it!
more time wasting.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
He's ridiculous. Just fucking bang it
What
towards
the
the
fuck
box.
are we doing? What are we doing? Oh God, what are we doing? What are we doing? We are genuinely playing with fire here. We're into stoppage time now.
4 minutes.
4 minutes. In search of a goal, and that's what we're doing at the back. He's been mugged off there. Nearly out his area.
Have a look at some blue shorts there.
Pretty much last throw of the dice. Decision making was all wrong there by Moxon. Last 10 seconds. That's it. It's going to go on for a little bit longer. We've literally gone to like extra time and we've literally got people leaving the game. That's how bad the game's been.
Hold him up, don't foul him, hold him up.
Oh, straight to him. Thank God that guy stepped up.
Hey, go on, hurry!
He's really stepping up today. There's no doubt about that. Thank God for that. The amount of time waste they've done, they've just done a few subs, they've strolled off the pitch. Now they're changing the throwing taker. Just ridiculous the lengths teams will go to try and get a result.
Will now be a minimum of 1 minute. A minimum of 1 minute.
Okay, now.
What did he do? Everything good in that.
It's all hit boiling point early in this second half of extra time.
Fucking tucker!
1 minute amount of time. Go on. Go on. Penalties it is. Why couldn't we show that level of intensity before the last minute? Stockport button. Got to score this one now. Have to. It's on to the decider. He's doing his best. Doing his best to put him off.
Look, I'll keep it brief because I'll talk about some of this in the preview for the Doncaster game in the next few days, but that was a bloody terrible performance from Stockport County today. From start to finish, just not good enough. Just not good enough. Obviously, 0-0 after extra time, 120 minutes, no goals, and of course we allowed Cambridge to win on penalties. Massively disappointing. Spoke about it pre-match, spoke about the importance of getting to the third round, having away days like we did last season against Crystal Palace, and how important they are for fans, and what a good opportunity it is for fans to get to grounds they wouldn't typically always get to. Now look, I did also talk about the priority, and understanding the priority would be the league and the game against Doncaster on Tuesday, but that's not an excuse, that's not a reason why we lost the game today, because we fielded a really strong 11 with the players we have available to us. I don't think we could have really put out a stronger team than what we did, other than maybe Ben Hinchliffe and Cal Wootton. That's as strong as you're going to get with the players available. And to be honest, with the performance from Ben Hinchliffe last weekend and the performance from Corey Adai in the last two games, there's even an argument whether or not to say Hinchliffe would have been a stronger contender for Adai's position today. So yeah, other than sort of maybe those two, it was as strong as you're going to get. So to put in a performance like that with the players we had available, against a Cambridge side which was relegated last season, is in League Two this season. It was a really, really poor showing from Stockport County. Like I say, lack of quality from start to finish as well. And look, don't get me wrong, I think Cambridge's game plan was certainly to get it to penalties. I think they played for that from the get-go. I think they were using a lot of opportunities to try and time waste and things like that. And they obviously believed that was going to be their way to get them through to the next round. And in the end, it works for them. But Stockport County showed very, very, little quality today, and that was really disappointing. And I think today it's more of a reflection of how bad County were as opposed to how good Cambridge were. But fair play to them; they have made it through to the third round of the FA Cup. And like I say, fair play to them and fair play to their fans that made the journey today to Stockport County. But like I say, from a Stockport County perspective, massively disappointing to be out the cup, to have done it in the manner in which we've done it in as well. And also, like I say, a lot of question marks will be asked about why we weren't able to get a result with the team we put out against the kind of opposition we were up against today. And big question marks will be asked, especially now. We need to put in a big performance, a strong performance, and get a result against Doncaster on Tuesday night. And I don't think anything other than a win will really be regarded as acceptable, given the performance we've seen today. I don't think it's been a great few weeks for Stockport County, but I also don't think we've had a great season in terms of performances. Even when we were in a decent spell of form, we weren't really performing very well. We were getting results. We've been almost grinding through games for the most part. So I think that performances haven't really been there. And there's only so long you can say injuries are a problem. Like I said, that was a strong enough team today. Yeah, okay, we're missing Ollie Norwood, but I tell you what, we can't just be so reliant on Ollie Norwood. You cannot be a team which can get results with a player like Ollie Norwood, and then as soon as you lose a player of Norwood's ability, you become what we've become. I mean, if we're saying this is all because Ollie Norwood's injured, then how bad of a side are we without Ollie Norwood? What about if we'd never signed him? Would we have made the playoffs? Because I thought last season we were a strong team, you know, sort of as a collective, and not just Ollie Norwood sort of almost pulling us up with his ability and quality. So if we're saying that this is all down to Ollie Norwood being injured, then that shows how poor of a side we are when he's not available. And I don't believe that's the case. I believe we're probably a lot better than what we're showing. But at the moment, we're not showing that enough, and that has to change in the next few weeks, because if we want to get to where we want to get to this season, we've got to start putting in strong performances, and we've got to start picking up results again as well, because the last couple of weeks it has been really, really poor, and it couldn't get any poorer than what we saw from Stockport County today. So yeah, massively disappointing, and quite frustrated, to be honest, and annoyed that we had to sit through that, quite frankly, to be honest. 120 minutes of absolutely nothing, and then only to go and lose on penalties as well. So yeah, massively disappointed, as I always say, but incredibly frustrating, and even a little bit annoyed, to be honest. So I want to get your thoughts, of course, in the comment section below, as always, on this one. Do like the video if you can manage to. It really helps support the channel. Do subscribe if you're not already as well. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully we'll be a little bit more positive. But in the meantime, bye for now.